Hey guys, it's Katie from the K Show blog here, and this weekend I have been invited out by Visit York County to experience the magic of Christmasville. So that's what we're going to be doing for the next couple of days. Let's go check it out. So what is Christmasville? Maybe you've never heard of it. I hadn't heard of it till this year either. So what it is it's in Rock Hill, South Carolina, and they turn a town into Christmasville and pretty much have this whole festival to celebrate all things Christmas. It's super magical, it's super Christmassy, and I think completely amazing, especially for kids. I imagine this is the kind of experience and the kind of event that the kids are going to grow up and talk about with their kids. You know, it's going to be those memories that just spark that magic in them and that they will remember forever. So they turn this whole town into Christmasville. They host about 70 events and activities that are Christmas related. So a lot going on, a lot to keep you busy, and just a lot of memories that can be made here. So the setup, you go in there. Now, if we sort of work back to front, I have a mental map going on right now. So if we work back to front, they had this whole back section on grass that was just adventures and games for kids, like a couple of blow-up bounce houses. There was inflatable axe throwing. There was all sorts of like those kind of fair type games, and they were all free. You just like walk up, jump in the bounce house, walk up, do some axe throwing. So they had that whole area where you can just get some energy out of the kiddos, and then you go straight across from there and they had this whole strip of food trucks. So every kind of fun, fair food, you know, type food trucks. They had pizza. I really like my pizza. They had tacos. They had, what else did they have? Funnel cake, lemonades. There was a pickle stand. So yeah, just you go across and you have all these food trucks. So you're definitely not going to be hungry while you're there. At the back, they had a stage for some local performances, so that was really cool. And they had another stage up at the front too. So you got two different stage areas, and there was a lot of the local community groups that were doing performances. I especially loved the little kids ballet and dancing because I did dancing when I was a little kid and I had to go to these type of events. So it kind of like, you know, had a wave of nostalgia for me, but it was really fun to watch them get up and do their Christmas themed dance recitals. So that was cool. But they also just had music and other local community groups doing their performances. So you had the two stages, and then you had some horse-drawn carriage rides down at the back there. And as you come back through that main street, it was just like a full strip of activities. This is where kind of the magic starts to happen. So you could just walk up there and there was just stall after stall of fun Christmas activities. So you could do everything from watching them do ice sculptures. There was a game where you could stack like Christmas present boxes to see how high you could get them. Decorating cookies, decorating ornaments. It's a busy time of year for Santa, but it's Christmasville, so like he's gonna be there, right? So there was appearances by the big man himself. He was sitting there getting photos with the kids. There was also appearances by the Grinch. He was hanging around in the background so you could get photos with him. It was actually hilarious seeing how some kids loved him and couldn't wait to meet him, and then some kids were completely terrified. So that was kind of a fun thing to see. I got a photo with him too. But yeah, they had all those different activities. There was a gingerbread. The local community had done like a gingerbread house making competition. So they had them all displayed there and you could vote on who you thought was best, which reminds me I have to like look up, did the one I voted for win? And then they also had a Lego making competition, so you could vote on that too. So there's a lot going on. That gingerbread and the Lego was really, really popular. Like they were meant to open at 12 on the Sunday and it was like 12:01 and there was a line of people just like waiting to get in there and vote on the gingerbread and see them all. So that was a really popular one. They also had a beer garden for the adults and you know, sort of a beer food truck type thing. Phenomenal apple pie cider. I'm a cider girl and like it was just phenomenal. I love the apple pie cider. And yeah, so you could just walk that strip and do all these activities as you go. So even if that's all you did, that would be a fun, magical experience. But then they had extra events that, you know, they required you to register for, so they were kind of separate to that main street. But really, really fun. Like there was a themed brunch. I didn't go to it, but I saw the videos on their Instagram, and there was a guy like dressed as Elf, like Will Ferrell's Elf. And he was like in full character at this event and feeding the kids like spaghetti and candy and running and jumping on the tree. So I just imagine that would have been so much fun to go to. So they had those kind of events. And then also like you could go in and paint Christmas ornaments. I did that once. That was like you had to pay to paint the ornaments, but it was like a local clay making studio that had made all these ornaments and they provided the paint and everything. So that was fun also. So they had a lot of extra things in addition to that main street. And lastly, there was also a whole like vendor and craft village over to the side there. And so this is what I did. You know, because December is such a busy time of year, there's a lot going on, and trying to get all the errands done, all the shopping done. What I did was save my Christmas shopping for going to this, because I knew there was going to be like the vendor village and the craft village, and I just did all my Christmas shopping from those little local businesses, because they were all like locally made products, you know, small businesses. I always love to support them. So yeah, I just did all my Christmas shopping there, knocked it out in one day, and got some really cool stuff. Like they had really cool flavored oils, they had lots of locally made candles, locally made woodcraft. There was food, like, you know, baked goods, there was stuff for pets. There was all sorts of craft items there. And then you have this cool local area to explore. So there's a lot of really cool coffee shops. My favorite was called Knowledge Perk. They did an iced coffee flight that was Christmas themed, and I really, really liked that. That was a really cool coffee shop to start the day. Get plenty of caffeine in for your day of adventure. There was a couple of cool restaurants that I really, really liked going to. There was one called FM Eatery, which was, you know, close to that main area, and probably the best shrimp and grits I've ever eaten. But yeah, really, really good food there, really cool sort of hipster vibe, which I liked. And then there was another one called the Pump House, which was really unique. Like you go in, you have your reservation, then they put you in an elevator and tell you which floor to go to, and it had a really nice view like over the water. So and amazing food as well. So, you know, a couple of great places to eat, to explore. It's a big brewery area. So I went to, you know, this is like a little bit of downtime in the afternoon one day. So I just went to this brewery called Slow Play Brewery, and yeah, just, you know, got a couple of ciders and just hung out, and it was a really cool open space and just a nice local spot to hang out. So there's a lot going on there. You know, if you want to take a break from Christmasville and just do some exploring. So what I did was turn it into this little weekend away. So I went up on the Friday night, you know, stayed for Christmasville, and then came back and went back to work the next day. Like that Celine Dion song says, I drove all night to get to you. And where I stayed was Cambria Fort Mill, which was about 15 minutes away from that main, you know, Christmasville area. I couldn't complain about it at all. It was really clean and comfortable. The staff were all super friendly and nice, and it had a lot going on there, you know. So I didn't have any complaints. It was very comfortable and a nice place to stay. So if you need a recommendation, you know, I had a good experience there. But yeah, it was just enough away to be out of the way and then be near some of those other places like the coffee shops, but close enough that you could get into the action. So yeah, you will want a car, you know, obviously if you're doing a road trip, but then to sort of get around that local area, and then you'll just go into Christmasville. So that main town is blocked off, but they have a lot of parking areas sort of around the outskirts there, and it was easy to just drive in and find one. Like that wasn't really too difficult. I would recommend going early though. You don't want to leave it till late in the day because the parking is going to start filling up. It is a really popular festival, so just go early. Wear some comfortable shoes because you're going to be walking around to all these activities all day. So definitely have some comfortable shoes, and then maybe an extra layer in case you're staying into the evening when it gets a little chilly. But other than that, you know, you're just going to have a great time. Everywhere was taking cash and cards, so there was no issue with like needing to have a lot of cash on you or anything like that. It was all very well run and very easy to do. They just made it easy for you to get there and then have a great time. So what I'll do is write up a full blog post. I'll put it on my website, so that will have the list, you know, everywhere I stayed, all the tips. I'll put everything in there so you have that reference. You know, you can just save it for next year. And if that's not there today when this video's out, it'll be there in the next week. So, you know, I'll get that up for you as soon as possible. But yeah, that'll be your cheat sheet reference guide. And if you like this video, please don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, you know, leave a comment and say hi, all those things that help me grow the channel. So it's been fun to share Christmasville with you. I hope you liked it, and I hope it's on your radar for your 2025 adventures. I will see you in the next one. Bye.